Peace, light, and love, everybody. Once again, it's your girl Life in the building, and thank you for joining me tonight. Today on Libations and Conversations, we are going to be talking about losing our sisterhood and the toxicity of Black women. Um, but in the meantime, before we get into that, I have a sister that'll be joining me today. We'll be talking and joining in the conversation. And you guys too can feel free to tune in and join in the conversation. If you'd like to go live, you can click. Excuse me. You can click on the link located in the chat, StreamYard link, and you can join in, or you can join in via chat. Uh, so again, tonight we are popping a lot of cherries, guys. This is my first night going live, so bear with me as I'm multitasking behind scenes and in the front. But we're gonna bring you some great conversations, some good vibrations, and of course, we can't forget our libations, guys. If you see my glass here, I hope you like it. I think it's kind of cute. It was given or actually, it was purchased by myself from the talented artist here locally, Designs by Brooke, located in Atlanta, Maryland. I'll be giving you guys a sneak peek of the inside of her studio. It's a beautiful creative space that will be a great place for your next event or a networking party or anything like that. So definitely, if you guys get a chance, please check out Support Designs by Brooke. You can find her on IG, Facebook, and also she has a website as well. So before I invite my guest on, I just want to give time for everybody to kind of come in and join us tonight. People may be still traveling in from work. But if not, you don't have to tune in live. It's going to be on a replay. You can catch it back on Facebook and YouTube as well. But I hope everybody had a great holiday, enjoyed time with their family. I know I did. I hit the pause button last week just to take some time out with the family, cook and, enjoy that kind of stuff because family is important. So today we're going to be talking about well, we're really not going to be talking about Shanquella Robinson, but the constant conversation swirling around about Shanquella. Unfortunate death, young lady. We lost another Black life here over in Mexico. That's part of our community. And it's the topic of conversation pretty much around everybody. Table these days, workspace, internet, so you can't get away from it. But I don't like to really uh, participate in those kind of conversations, and particularly with this story, because there's a lot of misinformation on both sides, and I think we just need to allow that to be unpacked and let the authorities and the process just take its place. And just condolences to the family and her beautiful spirit. But it does make me or brought up the conversation and question that I've personally questioned within myself as a young woman, as a adult woman, as a woman that's growing and a little bit more seasoned, about the problem in the community with us as sisters. And the problem why we have so much jealousy, what appears to be jealousy and envy towards each other. Yes, we do have camaraderie, and this isn't about saying that we don't work together, that we don't come together and commune together. We do, but we also know the other side of that coin. And pretty much all of us has either had the experience of the experiencing the toxicity of a Black woman, or has partaken in it. And I've been on both. I'll be honest, I've been on both sides of the coin. Um, and this conversation is not about to say there is not toxicity in all women, because there is. All women, all races, colors, creeds. But this conversation is about us, because on the platform here, we're all about engaging in great conversation, and having, but also keeping it on a high frequency. This conversation isn't to tear us down, but if we're talking about sisterhood and any kind of relationships or friendships, um, when we're talking about at its core, and what we all want is somebody to be truthful with us, and that we don't always want them to be our cheerleader. We want someone to tell us when we're right and wrong. So this platform is part of that process, and making sure that we not only celebrate each other, but we also hold each other accountable, and have some of those uncomfortable discussions that we don't like to have on the forefront. We may have them amongst ourselves with our girlfriends, family members, but we don't like to take the dive out and really talk about this on a major platform. So I'm going to go ahead and put myself out on Front Street and extend the arm tonight with the conversation. Again, the platform and the conversation is created for growth and inspiration. So this again is not about tearing down, but it is about uncovering, because we're about scratching beyond the surface and really getting to the root of why we have some of the issues and problems that we have in our community, in our country, in our world. And the only way to do that is to have some uncomfortable conversations sometimes. And they're only uncomfortable when we shy away from them. So, anybody that knows me, I'm kind of upfront. I like to kind of deal with things head on. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And I brought another beautiful sister on with me to partake in that. And she's going to join me right now.
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, hey.
Hey, peace, my sister. All
Oh,
right, guys, welcome, Kia, to the platform.
yeah.
Yes, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Kia is an old friend, coworker of mine. A lot of people I know. Again, I'm always introducing people through my travels. I like to stay connected, even when we get distant. It's always about the village movement, and making sure we kind of extend each other's arm forward and backward to each other. So, anyway, I got Kia on today, and I wanted to invite her first and foremost to showcase her as a small business owner an entrepreneur. She is currently working on a beautiful camouflage crochet hoodie jacket for myself that I'll be showcasing on the platform soon. But she has a wonderful business entitled Latrice Crochets with Love. And you can go ahead and just, I don't know if you want to share some of your products or tell us a little bit about the company or both.
Um, Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
the, you know what I mean. Um, I started crocheting a couple of months ago, and I fell in love with it. Like, it actually took over my life. It's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Actually, it came out of a bad situation, but it look at the way it turned out. It didn't turn out bad at all. It's helped me through a lot of things. It continues to help me through a lot of things. It's one of my outlets. It's one of my forms of self-care. I like making people feel good. I like making, even if it's for just the minute that they're trying on whatever it is that they're trying on, or they're receiving whatever gift from me. I love to make people smile, and I like to make people feel happy in their spirit. So this is it's a joy for me. It's a privilege for me to be able to do this and to spread my joy and to give people my joy, because anything that I make with love, and I want to share it with everyone.
Okay. And here on Libations and Conversations, that's what we're all about is opening up the platform to other creatives, other business owners that are doing something positive. Again, it's about your own self-worth and self-love first, and then you generate that outward. So thank you for joining me today. So I would like you to share. Do you have any of your products to share? It looks like you got a lovely little sweater on today. Is that something that you made, or is that store bought?
This actually is store bought. I'm so sorry,
Okay, okay.
but
No, no,
I
no, no
can make
problem.
this. This is no problem. But in my hand, I actually do have a sweater that I'm making right now. This is actually, I'm working on the sleeve part.
Okay.
This
I
part
love
is
I
not
love I
done.
love her sleeves, you guys. It's something about those
Yeah, I
little
like my
sleeves
sleeves
that she puts
baggy.
on.
I don't like them too
Yeah, it
tight.
gives it a little,
Yeah, I like them a little baggy. So I'm
what
working on the
kind of
sleeves right
lady.
now, and then I will. do the midsection, and I like to get my sleeves out the way first though.
Okay.
So that's one thing. I actually have my actual purse, which I will show you. Just a, I
Okay, we
mean,
rocking the see, that's what I'm saying. It's that synergy. You see my earrings?
yeah,
Yes, right. Yeah. You know, Aisha means life. Let's go. Let's go.
Hello. More life, more life. But this is just a, regular, just grocery, anything you want to put in this, your laptop, your anything, your wallet, your clothes, because your kids always throwing stuff in your purse, and your husband's throwing stuff in your purse. Whatever. It's a purse. It has an ankh on it. How can you go wrong with that?
It's cute. I love it.
I have this actual
Now while you're pulling that out, something I like you to show them too, because that's what first I think started catching my eye when I started seeing some of your stuff online. It was the little footies.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
slippers.
yeah. I don't know if they're near, but no. Show them the jacket. Show them the jacket. That's important.
Okay.
That's a good item right there. Show them the jacket.
This is the jacket. It has a zipper. I added a zipper a few days ago.
Okay.
But
Love it.
it's a pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's the one that I have that she's doing in a camo.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So I'll be showing that off in the coming weeks.
It's not light. I know it's knit or crochet or whatever, but this is very heavy. It's not light. Okay.
No, it actually looked that way to me, and I'm a name it girl, so that's perfect for me.
It's heavy. But
that's perfect for me.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to like this. This was my first jacket actually, so I'm really proud of this one.
It looks very nice, and I have her adding a hoodie to mine.
Yes, I'm adding a hood to yours. Yes, and I actually do have one second. Let me grab my box. I actually do have some. I have the shawl that I made.
Right, Bubs? Somebody said that you're definitely a natural at crocheting. She definitely
this is the shawl that I made for my friend Nikita. She didn't come to pick it up yet, but thank goodness, because I get to show it off. But
very
this
pretty.
shawl and my slippers, which would be, give me 1 second, going through my box.
Young woman. Okay. Mama used to say, don't you okay, there you go.
This would be my husband wouldn't approve of this because he's a Commanders fan, but these are a pair of Dallas Cowboys.
Can you hold them closer to the camera? I don't know.
Around
okay.
Slippers.
Yeah. Are you still in the purse?
Kind of like a boat shoe type of ordeal, but a slipper.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can see it. Like a moccasin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, cute. I like it.
And it's the bottom, and I actually add the rubber soling to the bottom, so you can wear them outside if you want to. This pair doesn't have them.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to spotlight you as a small business owner, entrepreneur, because we're always about sharing and exposing talented and inspiring people on the platform. So now we're about to get into this conversation. Okay. So this is a two-part how this conversation came about. I've been listening to excuse me with these damn headphones. I've been listening to the Shanquella story, updates, speculations, whatever you want to call them. And it's just concerning as a woman, as a parent. I have a daughter, I have two sons. And this isn't the first incident of a situation like this that has happened. Now, whether it plays out that the friends were actually behind it or not, I have my own thoughts. But again, I'm not here to get into that. And that's what this side of the conversation is about, because again, we like to dive a little deeper in the conversation and unpack what's really going on in a particular scenario. And again, this isn't the first time that a a young woman has and again, this is about women, so I won't go back and forth. We can kind of touch base on the entire situation
Right.
uh in its entirety, but the platform tonight is about the ladies. So but there's been plenty of different scenarios where we've had this kind of scenario where you have a group of young adults, um, women, and they're either partying somewhere out for the night, whether it be in town, out of state, out of country, or whatever, and something goes left. And I think it's just sad that we keep having to address these issues, and it's like now, stories like this you didn't hear about us 20 something, 30 years ago. I mean, not saying that things like this haven't always been here, but just the percentages are going up and up like crazy. They're skyrocketing. And more things are happening in our community. And I mean, again, I'm here to address things that are affecting my community because they affect me, they affect my children, and then I also have to be a reflection for my children. You know what I mean? So to stay quiet is to, to just let everything happen. So, I personally want to discuss tonight, the toxicity that we experience in our community amongst each other as women. And I don't know, have you had a chance to hear anything about the story or?
I was looking up some things just now before we got on. There's a lot of, it's a lot. It,
Yeah.
it, it,
But
um,
just again, not getting into the story part of it. What is it? What did it strike a chord with? Because and I guess let me disclaimer: the other part of how this came up is not just me kind of listening to this story. Excuse me. But I actually came across Kia had did a post like a week or so ago where she kind of was expressing herself about how she felt in the moment about some things, and one of those being um, just her kind of problem with sisters and not really having a good tenure, I would say, in her lifetime when it comes to sisters. Would that be correct?
yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So, I thought, you'd just be good to partake in the conversation. And I personally have had that experience myself. Um, when it comes to the toxicity of us, I mean, it's different scenarios. So, like taking this situation, what I see, or situations like this, what I see happening is, and I've been in them before. Um, it starts with I guess, with a lack of self worth, and that could stem from many different places from the individual, but then there's also a lack of I don't know if it's a lack of self-worth on the person that is the bully disguised as the victim, I would say,
Right,
if that makes sense.
right.
Yeah, yeah. But what has your experience been with with women of color, you know?
Well, let me start off by saying that my first interaction with the black woman should have been my mother. And I'm sure it was, but she didn't end up raising me, so I don't know if it's because of that as to why I have trouble with black women. I'm not sure. I don't know if it stems from there. I don't know. I was raised by my father. Um, I I'm not really sure where it stems from. Um, I would like to get to know the reason. I can speculate. We can go back to slavery and feminism, and we can do a lot of things here. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean. This is a problem. We have to find solutions.
So yeah. So yeah, that's what this is about. It's about, kind of putting it out on the table and then, seeing what we can come up with. Or at least begin the conversations, and again, conversations are already being had, but I'm just putting it out here,
Hmm.
um, on a platform here for us to talk about. Um, I know a lot of things stem, of course, it stem from childhood. So I'll start off with giving scenarios that I've been through, because like yourself, I love my sisters. I got nothing but love for my sisters, but I'm cautious of my sisters. I've had good and bad experiences. I say I'm on the fence, and then uh, I particularly. My father kind of kept me close when I was a young girl. So I was very much a tomboy
Mhm.
growing up. And what I found was that wasn't always accepted because it wasn't the norm. You know what I mean? I was always too rough or too this or too that, and that wasn't even anything generally that I did. Could be the way that I dressed, the way that I talked, the way that I may have played a sport, or and with women, we're intuitive and we sense things, and a lot of things that was just coming through the door, you know. So where I would come into situations wanting to be, and this is childhood, where I would come into situations open arms, wanting to embrace my sisters. A lot of times I would get shunned, and it wouldn't be by the masses, but there usually would be a leader or two or three, that would control the others. So it would be that group think kind of mentality,
Mhm.
and then go ahead. Do you have something?
I mean, I can identify wholeheartedly. I grew up a tomboy. I grew up an athlete. I played soccer, ran track, tennis, basketball, and gymnastics. And I was raised by my father and his parents, who were not from this country. So I had a double whammy. I had the fact that I wasn't raised by a woman and the fact that my parents or my family was from somewhere else. So to black women, I was never black enough.
Mhm.
I wasn't black enough. By that meaning I enunciated my words. I speak like I'm speaking now. That wasn't accepted when I
Mhm.
was in high school and younger, I got it it just didn't work in my favor. Being a good athlete, being a
Here's my puppy in the back, guys. If you hear him,
that's my dog. I was clapping because my dog was okay. I
well,
thought
mine was here.
okay.
Lord, praise God.
I have two pit bulls. Okay, they're
I'd
in
like
here. Don't
someone to come get him,
worry. um,
but in the meantime,
yes,
yeah.
but definitely.
Hold on one second,
Okay,
please.
got
This
it.
is live, and this is what we do now in social media. Hold on one second.
Okay. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay, I was saying that's why you guys tune in live and direct to get all the reality right in your face. All right, we had to hit the pause button, put the puppy outside. He wasn't
Yeah.
liking not getting any attention.
Hmm.
Can you hear me now, Bubs?
I can.
Okay, I think it's a delay in the chat. Guys,
Okay.
forgive me. I had to take a pause and take care of my doggy. So we're back in the conversation. I guess, talking about toxicity, and right now we're talking about we're in childhood phase
Hmm.
of the experience of it. And I think if we're starting there, if we're beginning to talk about where it's stemming from, it definitely stems from childhood. So if we're talking about how does that start? How do we get there? The kids, um, you know, uh, I guess putting each other in a hierarchy. You know, classifications and stuff like that. That stuff starts at childhood.
It
You know,
does.
so I guess, if we're talking about, getting to the root of stuff, and how does it how do we begin whatever, with kids learn from their parents, and the adults that they're around. You talking about, maybe it is, could be, um maybe your mom wasn't there, so you didn't have, uh well, did you, maybe your mom wasn't sure, before, I assume maybe your mom wasn't there, but did you have a strong female presence around?
I had my grandmother,
Okay.
and I had my brother's mom, which my dad married, when I was about 4 years old. So I had them. I had those two, and thank goodness. But I really do think it starts at home. I'm not going to say that every female has had a bad experience with their mother, because that's not what this is. You know what I mean? It's just, it could be. You know what I mean? She could have had a bad experience with her father that leads her, to be whatever way she is. Just parents in general are very important. I think they, play a part in this, definitely.
I
Um,
think, yeah, I'm sorry.
mhm. Go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say I definitely think it starts at home, but I think, like you kind of touched on it for a second. You can kind of end up in this path individually as a woman, whether you have a good home, no good home. I think what it really stems from is, it's like I was saying, back to that group think. When we get with our peers,
Mhm.
particularly. Um, and that happens at different stages of your age. But when we get around our peers, and there's a hierarchy system,
Mhm.
and we've seen in our childhood, we've experienced toxicity. I've experienced, I remember back in our day, it would be situations of fights. Now they weren't as extreme as what they are now, but you see how it's graduated. you
Mhm.
know we were, generation X, and we were the crack babies, and our generation was the generation that was taking things kind of next level with the
Right.
violence,
Right.
pushing the envelope and stuff like that. Excuse me. um so I think, when we get with our peers, and get into that group, um, and when we would fight, it would be the egging on,
It's the
you
mob
know, the
mentality.
egging on, like that, like, everybody getting a rise out of, somebody else's pain,
Mhm.
and that's something that, we've seen for generations. But what's happening now, since the age of, social media, I think, it's catapulted that,
Mhm.
to the next level. To now where we're seeing stuff like Shanquella, and I forget the young lady, a few years back, that died in a hotel. She was partying with friends, and she ended up, they have video footage
Chicago.
of her. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been several other stories, and then we have, missing kids, as well as adults, like every other day,
Mhm.
in our community, and everything is like silent. I even had to tell myself, like, uh, be conscientious of posting some of
Right.
these things,
Right.
because we look and look and look. And I think that's the problem. We're getting lost, and becoming onlookers more and more, that we allow things like this, to, carry on, to the point that it's becoming an infestation. That is a tragedy what happened. Shout out to Samo, Power 357 Radio in the house.
Oh yeah.
Um, but it's a tragedy what's happening in our community, and what's happening amongst our sisters. It's hard for us to, we're very cliquish, very cliquish, and we like to stick in one swarm. You know what I mean? Instead of building bridges. It's okay. Everybody's going to have their own camp and have their own thing, but us as women and as people, we need to learn how to extend that arm more, and give each other more grace. You know what I mean? When it comes to just, things that we agree and don't agree on.
Mhm.
And I think that's another thing that's part of the problem is, um, a lot of things in our circle as females, that when you're not, I tend to see where the problem lies sometimes. A lot of times with situations like you're not the most popular out of the clique, or you're not the flyest, far as the flyest clothes out the clique, or you're not the most status driven out the clique, or you're not the one that can uh, the who's who. Or, I mean, it's several
Or,
different reasons.
or maybe you are all those things, and that's why they don't like you either.
That too. That too.
Sometimes you just can't win.
Exactly. 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 Either side of the coin is a no-win situation.
It is.
So so I guess, how do we begin to um change that mindset? And I'll say this too, because it's not just something that I'm seeing as a woman and you're seeing as a woman, it's the men too. Because
Mhm.
if it wasn't so much, if it wasn't so much toxicity, we wouldn't have people like Kevin Samuels and all of these other people that are on the rise, that are on like a witch hunt on the black woman,
Exactly.
you
Right.
know. And I'm not necessarily here for it at all. I'm definitely solution based, but I definitely understand everybody has validity in their stories.
Hmm.
So, if the men are to the point where they're having conversations about black women, y'all better get it together, and all this kind of stuff. Again, before we cancel these conversations out, we have to listen, um, and at least take some of it in. Excuse me,
Yes.
if we want to grow.
I think I think we've become desensitized. I think this generation has become desensitized through whatever they're maybe through social media, through the TV, through the music, through because it's so normal now for you to just kill a person, for you to just shoot and kill a person, to take someone's life. It's normal now. It's like an everyday thing. It's a oh, people die every day. That's what they say. People die every day. B. That's what that. You know what I mean? So, I think that's one. I
Definitely
think
desensitized.
touching on what you said, just the you could be, not as pretty as the other ones, or not as this, or not as that, or you can be
That's
prettier,
pretty. Yeah, exactly.
and they still will attack you. I've been on both ends of that coin
And me too.
several times. You know what I mean? And there's really nothing you can do except, hey, when you figure out that's how, this is how you rock and this is how you roll. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna see myself out. No need to beef. No need to hate each other. No need to go back and forth with the word. But we can separate as women. Some women are just not going to get along, and that's okay. You're not going to get along with them, and that's fine. But there's a fine line
Respect.
between.
It's not about getting along, I mean, that's just life, right?
Mhm.
It's about the respect. I think it's more about respect. I
Right.
think there's a level of disrespect that is given. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be having a conversation.
Hmm.
Um, I think definitely desensitization is happening with amongst all of us. Um, and in regards to the millennials, I definitely think they are a generation that have taken what we were to a whole nother level, in the sense of like you really can't say too much to them. They are definitely the generation of show.
Yeah.
Talking is not uh the information is overload. So I think to counterattack that is to show, and I mean that's the classic motto anyway.
Hmm.
Is that you can't
Don't
you can
prove.
better you can show them better than you can tell them, right?
Right. Right.
I have conversations with my daughter about especially I've always had conversations with my daughter about her friendships, but particularly now that she's a young woman, and she's a young woman of age that, these kind of situations are happening to. And just like us, people tell you stuff, you're like, yeah, 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 because you think it ain't gonna happen to you.
Right.
And now, it's a flip of the coin. You fast forward 20 years or so, and now we're the parents, and now we got the kids telling us, the same thing.
Mhm.
And just like our parents had to let us live our life, we have to let them live theirs. So I just only thing I can do is share, teach. So when I talk to her about female friends, I just tell her to tread lightly, and I don't just tell her that about females. I tell her that about men too. Just any of relationships,
Yeah.
work relationships, all that. Don't walk and barge into anything. Take your time, observe. Get to know. Always be respectful and polite as long as that's given. Reciprocated. But you always keep one eye open until you really have invested time with that person, and likewise, like that reciprocation is done back to you. So there's a show for you to know, and that there's investment on that side as well. You know, but these kids are doing some new things these days, and and they're doing it with they don't
Convinced.
even think about it until it's I think after it's done. Like after. I don't think
Yeah.
they think at all. I think they are such on an adrenaline rush um when they get caught up in their moments. Now what I will say about the Shanquella incident is I don't think uh her death was intentional. That's what I will say. I think it was just the way these kids party, and like I say, their temperament these days, and how they talk and move. I think it was one of those situations where now I don't know. I leave a little room, but I don't know if they meant to kill her. I think what happened was, and let's call it what it is. Black folks travel, but we talking about young black folks,
Right.
and I don't care how much they travel. I think they don't process sometimes. They just going and doing and statusing and selfieing and all of that stuff. But a fight is a fight, right?
Hmm.
If you're fighting not to really intentionally hurt someone, when we used to fight, it was more so to deal with things.
Right.
You know what I mean? You handle it, move on. Now these kids fight to hurt and damage and kill.
Yeah.
So, when they fight and they fighting and kicking and stomping and all that, they doing that in a regular fight. So
Yeah.
okay, but they're doing that in Mexico. Mexico don't have drywall. Mexico don't have these little fake plastic, these
Right.
cheap tiles and wood and things of that nature. They got tiles and cemented floors and things of that nature. So if you get into a fight and you slamming and stomping and you know, an accident can turn into something real serious that you can't take back real quick. And I don't know. It's just getting scary out here, and I just want to find a way to, just again talk about these things, and just create a space. I guess as I talk about it, we talk about it. Maybe somebody else wants to talk about it. I don't know who's listening in. If anybody wants to jump in, or put a comment in the chat. If you got any questions for us as women, or any questions around this conversation, definitely chime in. But there is a link posted if you guys like to join us live. And if you had any questions, feel free. Just keep it respectful. Remember, it's all fair here on the platform, and we're respectful of everybody's opinions and all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, just sisterhood, and I think a lot of us, the standard at one point in time, there was a standard, a certain level of respect, and a certain level of care of wanting to help each other. I
The
definitely think.
village mentality.
Say it again.
The village mentality.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I always say village movement. I'm a big supporter, or thinker of that. And I'm trying to move that forward, kind of like to reawaken that as a movement for real. Where we here in the city, more and more of us connect, and I know there's other people out here in the city doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
I just continue to challenge us. What you say?
Yeah. I think. somewhere along the way that we've lost the village mentality. I think I don't know. I think I lost you.
No.
You hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've lost that. I think we've touch of that concept. I don't know where it was lost or why, but we need to get it back.
Well, I think again, nothing ever is totally diminished, but it's definitely been stifled like hell. I
Mhm.
do know there are a lot of people here in the city, around the country, around the world, that are talking about these things, doing these things. Shout out to Priest the Nomad. We got an interview coming up that's going to be featured on the platform. He's doing some big things in the city. Big up to him and his new album Receipts that he just dropped a few months ago, I believe. Oh no, I'm sorry, a few weeks ago. And he has an interview coming up on the platform here. But he's doing some big things in the city. We're just helping to unite the music front, the collectors, both old, new, different genres and things of that. I know the ladies over at Wild Radio. There's some sisters over there doing some things with in the community, and they got some good content coming out there. Got some fellas that I'm affiliated with, the Spliffs and Mischief Camp. They're over there on a YouTube channel doing their thing. Guerrilla Gremlins disseminating informations out into the manosphere. But yeah, there's people out here doing some great things, but I think it's just um, small camps. I think the again the group is still the mass. The group think is still the mass. And I think the more that we kind of come together and definitely unite and connect our tribes, and become more of a unit, because you can't, you never can put out a fire or begin to move it without again, that village mindset. In regards to losing the village mindset, I think, again, it's been agenda, just like we were talking and chatting before about agendas. There's so many nowadays, but there's agenda. There's always been an agenda on our community, and it's been a media attack for many, many years, many generations, and they've mastered it. To the point where they've almost got us like zombies. We watch all these zombie movies. It ain't gonna happen like that. It's happening right in front of our
It,
face.
it, it is. It's happening now.
It's
Exactly.
happening right in front of our face.
They're
You
talking about
know,
2050. This is no. It's happening now.
yeah, it's happening now. It's happening now, and they've been feeding and pumping us. Well, they've been feeding and pumping us literally since what, for the last 100 something years. And then now they have went on a full on attack psychologically with our minds, with the age of the internet and social media. So when you're being bombarded with all of these different images, not even just images, you're being bombarded in your mind and your body.
Right.
So how can you win against that? So some of this, again, when we're being fair to the conversations, because I try to keep it balanced.
Yes.
Some of this is not our fault in the sense of there's a war and attack on our mind and bodies, and it's been that. But now that we are waking up more and more, and that is the plus side of the internet and age of social media, is we've been coming to the age of information, so nothing is hidden anymore. But the difference is you're bombarded with everything, so now it's more to sift through and disseminate. You know what I mean? But now that we're being woken up, I think it's important for us to start changing, really putting the effort in and changing our minds, what we put into our mind and our bodies. Um, and that's the thing, because food is the most addictive drug.
It is. One of them. Another really important form is actually arts. It's the arts. It's music. It's literature. It's TV. It's media. It's social media. All of that plays a very key component in all of this as well.
Hmm.
Like I said, with our mind and our souls being attacked, what are we to do? My suggestion is to look deeper within. Go deeper within yourself. Everyone has to look within themselves. You can't look to anybody else to save you from you or whatever it is that you're going to encounter. You have everything that you need in here, and people need to know that your soul and what you put into it and everything that you surround yourself with, it affects it. It affects your soul. It affects your inner being. So I think people just really need to look within. I think, I'm not saying, because I listen to the music. I have a 17-year-old son. We get down in the Armada, okay? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, at some point, sometimes, that me time, that self-reflection time, that, maybe they didn't have a father figure, a mother figure, or someone positive to show them which way you're supposed to be, morals and respect and this and that. But as an adult, once you're past 18 years of age, you can no longer use that as an excuse. You are control. You are in control of you. Okay, so it needs to start in here. They have a lot of heart these days, but have none at all.
Say it again.
A lot of heart these days, but none at all. That's what I'm getting from it. That's what I see. They have heart for all the wrong things. Every single last wrong thing they have heart for and conviction for. But everything that actually deserves their time and their energy and their effort, most of them see it as a waste of time. They don't even recognize it as being anything self-fulfillment.
I think a lot of us, when we're going back to self-worth and why women that display toxicity. And a lot of times toxicity is, it's on the forefront, it's direct, but a lot of it is kind of silent and subtle on most occasions. But going back to the person that's usually victimized or bullied in that situation, there's some kind of, I guess, a lack of self worth somewhere in the generic in a general situation. Not in every situation that might be the case, but it's also that on the other side, because a lot of times women like that you know uh, expose and do some of the petty things that they do. Um, it's because there's something wrong with them too. A lot of times they're jealous or envious of something about you, even though it doesn't feel like it. That's what it is. It's like they're turning around and trying to make your strength a weakness, huh?
Projecting.
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. You know, and there's a lack of something there on both sides. I think definitely it's a continued conversation to have,
Absolutely.
um because there's so many layers to it. It's not just about in the situation of being bullied, like the Shanquella situation. You have situations on the job, you have situations in business, you have, there's so many different situations. What do you call it? Microaggressions.
Management.
That's what you
Okay.
call it. Yeah, microaggressions within our community. Shout out to Erica. That's one of my sisters there, True Blue. Thanks for tuning in today. And feel free to chime in, if you got something to say about the topic we're talking about. You know, the Shanquella Robinson situation, and just how that's becoming more and more of a situation that's happening to young ladies and the youth of today, because it's happening in the men's circle too, with the
Yeah.
young men.
Yeah.
I have two sons. I know you have two sons.
Mhm.
So it's not just happening to the women. The toxicity is happening just in our community.
It
you
is.
know so if you hear us talking about it, yes, this is about women, but you may have heard us flip-flop a little bit, but it's about our community. It's just, how do we change it? um yeah, we know we got post-traumatic slave disorder and all that kind of stuff, and yes, we do. And I think we need to continue talking about that, but if we're going to talk about it, we need to talk about it and get
First.
into it, and try to find out how to heal and move forward past it. But it's not something that we need to dwell on either. We're far past that. A lot of us have got access to a lot of things, and now again, while we're kind of scratching beyond the surfaces of some of these issues, is you know now it's a lot of us that have money and have access and could help and lend a hand to back to the community and with programs and things of that nature. And a lot of us, and a lot of them are here in the city. PG County has, and I think Montgomery County. Well, no, PG County definitely. I think they're about to get knocked out as having the wealthiest black. Um, the wealthiest black demographic. I think Howard County is about to
Mm-hmm.
beat them out, I think.
Yeah.
About to raise over them. But either way, you got two now. And that's just in our community. The wealth that's here. Just coming out of our community, and there's very little that you see it dispersed. So when we're talking about the hows and whys, again, it starts with us. We're not the children anymore. We're now becoming the elders, and now, I think we need to just step more into that limelight. And we Charles County, that's right. Thank you, Bubs. Charles County is about to be the new, or probably already is the new, has the wealthiest demographic of black people there. But I lost my train of thought. Excuse
It's cool.
me. We keep it real here on Libations and Conversations.
It
But
happens.
yeah, I mean, there's very little programs that you see here dispersed. You know, so I think again, those of us here that are doing things because it starts at home, and those of us that are doing things outside and around our communities, countries, we just keep continuing to build individually and connect where we can and do what we can do and just keep building and do what we can where we can. Um, Shout out to my sisters. I love you all.
I love you both
Um,
too.
I love you, Kia. Thank you for joining me tonight. But yeah, shout out to my sisters. I think this is a conversation that you can keep unpacking. We barely scratched the surface of it,
Yeah.
but it's something to keep talking about. Um, this is not a stab at all my sisters, and I'm having a conversation because I'm a sister. So if I'm taking a stab at you, I must be taking a stab at myself. I'm holding myself accountable first
Right.
with every conversation that I bring to you guys. But I just challenge us all to do better, be better. You know, the only way that we're going to get up is if we work at getting up together. I think we need to adopt the mindset, and some of you guys in my circle I've already said this too, but we need to adopt the mindset back in the day of like the talented 10th and our ancestors and, beyond that. And let's get past the little petty differences and if we don't agree on topics or situations, or if I'm friends with this person but this friend isn't friend, who cares about any of that? We are well past grown, and the only way to get up is if we work at getting up together, and we need to make sure, and like I say, push all of that petty stuff aside and help each other grow and get to a certain level, and put all that other stuff aside. So I continue to challenge us as sisters to pay it forward. Help somebody out this week. Help one of your sisters out. Do something with a sister that you don't normally do something with. Do something for. Not one of your regular girlfriends. Maybe one of them girlfriends been wanting to hook up with you, or somebody you've been wanting to hook up with, or business partner, associate, or co-worker, friend, or whatever. I challenge us all to, or it could be a family member, whatever the case may be. I challenge us all to reach out to somebody that's not in your normal circle, your everyday circle, and do something. Get to know them a little bit better. Do something with them. See what y'all can build on. See if it's something there, and even if it's not something there, you still made a connection because it ain't about all us being best friends. It's just about us being connected and
Right.
being better versions of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kia, I thank you so much, so much, so much for joining me today. Please hit her up on Facebook. Tell them where to find you if they'd like to purchase some of your crochets with love.
Well, on Facebook, if you type in at Medusa624, you will it will take you to my page, Latrice Crochets with Love. I'm also on Etsy, Latrice Crochets. So find me. I'm here.
All right, all right, all right. So, always, guys, here on the platform, it is your girl Life, always bringing you some good vibes, some great conversation, and don't forget the libations. Check out my cup. Check out my cup. Designs by Brooke, y'all. Shout out, shout out, shout out, because it's a village movement. I always got to pay homage to those in my camp and spreading love to affiliates and my brothers and sisters outside. Shout out to Power357radio.com, Samo and the gang over there. Y'all need to check out from this conversation if y'all want to hear what some of the brothers are saying about us. Y'all need to go over to Power357radio.com on Monday nights at 7 o'clock and check out No Man Mondays. I peek my head in from time to time and jump in with the sharks and answer questions of the men. They ask questions about from us of why we do what we do. So if you're feeling froggy, ladies, tune in to power357radio.com on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. Check out No Man Mondays. Tell me your girl Life sent you from Libations and Conversations. I'm sure if anything, your eyebrows will be raised. Um, Outside of that, shout out to Seventh Element Productions, always giving you those fire tracks. Shout out to Pure Fire. He has a YouTube channel, Seventh Element Productions. You can also find him on Instagram at pure_fire. That's FIYA. Oh, I'm sorry, Pure Seven. Oh shoot, scratch that. I'm gonna put it in the link. I'll put it in the link later. And PO5, if you listening, then drop the link. But you can find them on YouTube, Seventh Element Productions. Definitely, if you want to get in touch with them. Shout out to the gods over at the Spliffs and Mischief Godcast Camp. Again, those fellas are doing some great things. Check out Friday late night luncheon with the gang, and that's also streamed through Power 357 Radio. Also, soon come in the coming weeks, guys. You can check and find Libations and Conversations on cpiradio.com. Stay tuned. That's coming real soon. And outside of that, guys, continue to raise the frequencies. Raise the frequencies. Aim for a higher, better version of yourself. And I love you guys. Peace. It's a village movement.